We provide a free snack or supper program during the after-school program. We have free transportation home, and that includes no restrictions for distance, because we realize that when programs end, it might be dark and the weather is starting to get, going to start to get to wintry weather. There's something on my screen. I don't know if everybody's seeing that. So we're looking for everyone to enroll now and get your paper applications into your child's school. You must attend a school that's been identified in the flyer, one of the 19 schools to participate. And you must be in a grade level that is being offered, which is usually the entire grades for that school, except for pre-K. You only have one pre-K program at Lemoyne. So can everybody see what's in the middle of my screen? This meeting is being recorded.
Stacey, I think you have to click on yes, and then it will be erased.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I haven't used Zoom in a while. Okay, so this is a list of some of the possible enrichments that we've done in the past. Each school has different things, different enrichments, but we have things like sports and soccer and swimming where there's a pool. We have art and cartooning, ceramics where there's a ceramics equipment. Jewelry making is very popular. We have African drumming and dance, all types of dance. Building men and building women. We have public speaking and service projects. There's a lot of different programs that are embedded into our after-school programs that, not to mention the academic help. So usually there's an academic program and there's enrichments, and students in grades usually 3 and up are offered a survey to see which enrichments they would prefer. I'm sorry. So in order to enroll, you're going to want to go to the After Schools Programs website, which goes right to our main screen on the Syracuse City School District web page, and you're going to hover over the About. And you could see the After School Programs is under Students and Families, and that will bring you right to the listing of schools. And from there, it gives you important information like your program calendar and how to enroll. So there's a button right there that says how enroll my student here. You can only do 1 student per application, and then you can download the program calendar. So there's 3 ways you can actually enroll though. It's not just by going to the after school program website. You can do that, of course, online, but we also have a paper application, and right in the middle here is the cover of the paper application. So that's our second way that you can enroll. So the QR code, the paper application, and then going to the website are the way to enroll. And basically down here, I don't know if this is too small, but it says Elms at Levy Middle School, and it'll say Monday through Friday, see program calendar. It's 2:30 to 5:30, register here, click here where the yellow is, and then you can download the calendar, which is a hyperlink. And then it says our partner is the Red House. So each of the schools listed will have this information there. And each of the schools are really unique. Like some of them have grant funding that require like 3 hours after school program, whereas other ones might only be a 2-hour program. This is an example of the after school program calendar for Brighton Academy. every school creates their own calendar and it's specific to their school. And you'll notice that right on the top here, it says what the hours of the program are, which are 3:10 to 6:10, which is typical for your after school middle school programs. So the shaded days are the days that are program days, and they generally run from October 18th to June 3rd. But some schools vary depending on the grant that's associated with that specific school. Right now we have plenty of space, so we're hoping that parents will go out and sign up. Like I said, you can sign up all year long. The start and end times are specific for each school. And so those are the shaded days. I don't know if there's any questions. I'd be happy to answer any. That's how you sign up for the after school programs.
So Stacy, we can go ahead and ask you these questions. Right here, it says, does a child have to go to that certain school to participate?
Yes, they do. They have to attend the school that's identified on the flyer.
You mentioned paper application. Does the online application count as a completed application?
Yes, and it'll give you thank you. Your applications is submitted, but you have to do it for each student.
And not sure if they missed it, but if they're homeschooled, does not have an after school, are they allowed to join a school's after school program?
Unfortunately not. They have to be in attendance at that school during the day.
Does grades matter? Like, is there anything for kindergartens?
All of the elementary schools offer kindergarten. But it is specific. The only school that has pre-K is Lemoyne. The rest of the schools do not have pre-K, but the rest of them have all of the other grades that are associated with that school.
Okay, it says my son has an IEP. Will he still get his homeschool home stop busing?
The transportation is the same as we use animals, not numbers during the after school programs, but if there's any special accommodations in the normal dismissal, then we would definitely, like if it's a curbside or whatnot, we would still have that in place.
Are there other options for schools that are not on the list?
I would say call the school because they would know the other programs that would be offered to their students. I'm not the only person who has programs. I'm just giving you the information that I have that I oversee. We have grants associated with these schools, and there may be other for-pay programs or other programs that are happening that may not be aware of, so I wouldn't want to speculate on that.
Okay. Do you all see any other questions?
I have
Did
a
I miss
question.
anything?
Yeah, good one. What kind of activities do the programs have?
A lot of them are project-based, but they always have an academic component. So the teachers or TAs who are qualified will do a lesson plan every day, and we have a lead teacher who collects those lesson plans. But and then once they've done academics, they go into enrichments or vice versa. And some of the schools have 2 enrichments a week, depending on what their model is. Each school is pretty unique, or sometimes. So I couldn't. But
Stacey, are there any after-school programs for high school students?
there are, but I'm not associated with any of the high schools. I don't have any grants that have the high schools. So I would encourage you to call the high school and ask what they have, because I've heard they're out there for sure.
It appears that some families have missed how they sign their child up. Would you please just
Okay.
quickly reiterate that?
Sure. There's 3 ways to enroll. On the flyer that's, I'm sorry, going around the schools. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know if you could see this, but there's a QR code. We have a lot of different advertising pieces, this would be the easiest for parents to do because they would be able to use their phone, use their camera and hover over that with their camera, and it would, you press the link from that. But there's other ways. We have a lot of different advertising out in the schools. We have various languages for flyers and bulletin board posters. We have paper applications in the main offices. We have our advertisings in English, Spanish, Arabic, and Somali. And we've sent postcards and mailers and hard copies home to all families. And information is going home in backpacks. But if your child attends a school that you're just want to deal with the main office, you could just call there and ask for an application to be sent home. So that's another, so the application looks like the activities registration packet there. But then you could also go to the website and you could go to, which it's the same online process. The QR code brings you to the website, but you could go to our website and hover over you're going to hover over about. So this is a picture of our website, and the yellow is when you hover over about students and families. The first one is after school programs, and it brings you to a list of schools with the registration link button and the program calendar. So you can download all that information right there.
Stacy, we want to have one more question before we move on to our next speaker, and that is that someone's asking that if their child is under Syracuse Academy of Science, which is technically fall under SCSD, can they join the after-school program?
The schools are specific, so if the school isn't listed in the flyer, then it would not be a school that's a program that I'm associated with. But that doesn't mean that that's the one, you know, I definitely encourage you to call the school, but pertaining to these grant funded programs, they're specific to the students attending these schools.
So
it wasn't specific. I just want to be clear that no student who is a charter school student is eligible to participate in anything held within the context of the Syracuse City School District.
Okay.
You have to go through the charter for any after-school program, sporting program, etc.
Stacy, can you put your information in the chat just in case anybody has any other questions after this?
Sure.
Thank you. I want to introduce Ben and April from the athletics department, and Rachel, if we can share with them to be the co-host.
I'm sorry, it looks like there were some other questions that weren't answered on after-school programming.
Hold on one second, I didn't see it.
Ashley is concerned about her child not being able to participate from Seymour.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Can we
Sorry.
have Ashley explain why? Ashley, if you could unmute and say why your child is ineligible.
No, my question was if she qualifies, because I don't see like her school here in the.
So Seymour is one that I'm trying to, we do have a grant and we're not sure, we haven't developed the plans for that school yet. So I wouldn't be able to share much on that, but they may have services, so stay tuned. If we do, then they'll be sent home.
Okay.
Nils, are you aware of anything? Sorry, Nils, are you aware of anything at Seymour?
I'm sorry?
I was asking Nils because she's at Seymour.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute while someone else was trying to unmute me. I've just heard that plans are in the works and they're hoping to start mid-October. But you know, we don't have any applications or we don't have any of the flyers that Stacy expressed have gone out to the schools.
We'll make sure that the information goes home once it's planned out. I just wasn't ready to share that information yet. But it's probably not looking like an October launch date. I don't think there's time for that. That'd be too quick because there's a lot of factors that go involved, but.
Did we miss any other questions?
Someone asked, what about 5-year-olds? I'm not sure what that is. Yasmin Correa asked, what about 5-year-olds? If they're in kindergarten, they're eligible, correct, Stacy?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. So we have our next speakers from the athletics department, Benjamin Stewart Wong. Ben, are you there? Oh, there you are. You're on mute. I can't. There you are. I can hear you. No, I can't hear you.
Good
There you
afternoon,
go.
everyone. Thanks for having us today. I'm also alongside April Wortham, who's the Director of Phys Ed Health and Athletics. What we're going to share with you today is just a little overview on how to use Family ID to register your students or your child for interscholastic sports. Right now, we offer athletics to all our students that are in 7th to 12th grade. I'm going to share my screen if I'm allowed to here, and we'll go through some of the items. Is there a way that I could just have host abilities?
One moment, Ben.
Not a problem.
All set.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to share with you a bunch of different things today. Do not hesitate to reach out to us. I'll put my contact information. I'll share this document with you. It is so easy. It's step by step. It walks you through everything. So the first thing here, this is a memo that you should have gotten if your child is in 7th to 12th grade from either us or the athletic director. What it is it's just a memo that highlights how to use Family ID. Family ID is how we register all our student athletes. We do not use paper anymore. We use Family ID. What you do is you type in Family ID in your web browser, and you just say, you click the Get Started Now that I have highlighted here. You fill out everything and you create an account. They're going to email you a link to verify your email address, and then you're going to activate your account and go to, you're going to search for the Syracuse City School District in the search bar. Then it'll take you to a whole bunch of schools for each season. We have 3 athletic seasons. We have a fall season, which we're currently in. We have a winter season, and then we have a spring season. You are able to sign up your student 30 days prior to the start of the season. So for instance, right now we're in fall already. Our winter season for JV and varsity starts on November 15th. That means we will open up Family ID for you to register your child starting on October 16th. If your child is in 7th or 8th grade for modified sports start November 1st. So that means you would be able to start registering your child on October 2nd for the winter season. And then you'll have to keep on signing your child up for a sport at the start of at each of the seasons. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to stop sharing and share with you what Family ID looks like. Can everyone see this? This is the on our back end. So what I would see if I'm a parent, I'd be logging on in and I'm going to find my school. Let's say I go to Clary, my student goes to Clary Middle School. This is only for the fall. We don't have anything up for winter just yet. I'd click on that and I would see everything regarding fall sports. We have our Director of Health Services, which is Nancy Bailey, her email is here, and also her contact information. Then we also have the Supervisor of Athletics. That is your quadrant AD. So Clary falls under the Corcoran quadrant. Therefore, Jim Palumbo is our athletic director there, has all his information there as well. And then you also have April's information to go. In addition to the school-based nurse who would be checking off the finalized product to make sure that your student is cleared to participate in athletics. So you come down here, you go through everything, you pick what sport that you would be. So let's say I would be girls soccer. I would click on girls soccer and it would walk me through everything. I would type in the participant. This is not who your email is. This is who the student is. I'd fill everything out. Everything that has a red little star next to it has to be filled out. Otherwise, it'll kick you back. Fill out everything, go through everything. Make sure you have the address. Then you're going to fill out who you are. If you're the guardian or the parent, fill everything out. If you want to put another person on, go right ahead. And then you have all your emergency contact information that you go through. You're going to put your physician, who your child goes to. Now, this is a little different from in the past. If you already have a physical, you can upload this file onto Family ID. It's all secured. The only person that would see it is the school-based nurse and the athletic director. You upload it, the school nurse will check off everything, and that is when the student is cleared to play. The nurse will tell the AD and the coach and the AD will tell your child that they are cleared to play. Just because your child signed up on Family ID does not mean that they are cleared to step on the field just yet. They still have to be cleared from the nurse at the school-based building. And if there's any questions or if there's hangups with anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to the ADs. And I will, I'll put in the chat as well, all the ADs names and what quadrants they work for, in addition to my email and April's email as well. So you go through everything. You're going to put your insurance in here. Then if there's anything with medications, you can add it if you would like. If not, it would also be on the physical form. So this is just an added layer for you. Go through all the allergies, head injuries. There are a bunch of questions here. I know it can be a little time consuming, but do your best to go through everything. We really care about the health and safety of your child. So we want to make sure that we have everything concise and clear for you and we didn't miss out on anything. So go through everything. You click on everything. Then finally, we get into our policies. We have a concussion policy. We have the code of conduct from the SESD district. And then we also have our athletic eligibility policy. You can click on them. It takes you to the documents. You can read through them. Again, if you have any questions, contact your AD, your coach, the school, or myself, and I can walk you through with anything with that. Then at the end is the agreements. You had to click, yes, I agree to have my child participate in athletics. You would sign your name. And then same thing with participation in the physical evaluation. Really quick about physicals. A physical only lasts for 1 year when you get that physical. So for today is September 21st, Ben gets his physical. I can play all the way up until 9/20 of next year. So make sure you have updated physicals. So if my physical ends next week, I'm technically not able to participate in the athletic season. So make sure those physicals are up to date. Again, this also has a media release. This is the same form that would be at the school-based level, where if you want your child to participate in any sharing out and any photos that we may have when we have photographers come to watch our games with anything, it's a really neat way to highlight our student athletes in the press. Goes through everything. Again, you're checking off the last one. We are still in a pandemic, as we are all aware. This just goes through all the different things about our the COVID-19 and the athletic consent form. So you're agreeing to have your child participate in athletics during this time when COVID-19 is currently happening. This all goes through. You get an email saying you filled out everything. and everything should be good to go. That is the, let's see if I can. Stop sharing there. That is basically how we go through everything on the athletic side. Really simple. I'll put the document in there so you guys can have it. I'll also put the names of the ADs so you have who is there. I know we have a lot of questions on, you know, I have a sixth grade student. I really want them to play sports. They're incredible. They're really, it's only for 7th grade to 12th grade. April, I'll let you chime in with anything and then we can answer any questions.
Just a couple of things. If, you know, and some parents or some people at home may have a difficult time uploading the physical, you can bring it into the school. You could have the school nurse upload it, or she just records it. Sometimes some of the families, that's one of the hiccups, is they have the sheet of paper, but they're not sure how to, you know, to scan it. The student can bring it in. You could bring it in, give it to the school nurse, and you're good to go. So you don't have to do that if you don't have the ability to. As far as the physical, as far as the years, and we would love for younger kids to be able to participate, but that is a New York State ed regulation, not a district. We are not allowed to have anyone that is in any grade, you know, less than 7th grade. So any pre-K to 6th grade are not eligible. Doesn't even matter how old they are. If a 5th or 6th grader happens to be 12 or 13, they still cannot participate. They have to be enrolled in 7th grade or up. If their physical is up sometime during the season, as Ben mentioned, I believe we can double check, but I believe they will be good till the end of the season. They will not be good for the next season, but I think it's a grandfather type thing. I know during COVID, it was for sure that if a kid's physical ended and the season was still on, they were allowed to continue to the end of the season. So that is one thing we can find out. The only other thing about Family ID is you do not have to do that entire thing every single time you sign up. To be honest, I haven't signed up any kids, but I know there's a good chunk of it that stays from one sport to the next. You still have to fill out, like, for example,
Yes.
the questions may change because if your son or daughter had an injury, we need to know that, you know, in between. But a lot of it, you don't have to do that whole thing again. Only the first time is it a bit time consuming, but it's still better than the paper trail we used to have.
It basically, so if I signed up my child for the fall and I filled out clicked all those answers, and then I'm signing the same child up for the winter, all those answers would still stay clicked, but I still have to sign up for whatever sport I'm going to be playing,
Right.
that my son or daughter is going to play in the winter.
Yep. And there is also a place, and it actually comes to our office. If you have a question, there is a way to email, I believe, right, from Family ID.
Yep.
And
So
we-
again, on the side, you'll see all the contact information for that specific school, in addition to all the contact information for
Yep.
Our office.
So you could always ask individually once you're signing your child up, and we will respond accordingly. And we want as many kids as we can. The students that we've gotten are just itching to get back on the field because they really haven't in quite a while.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Are there any questions? If you can place your questions. Doesn't look like we have any.
Based on a conversation that I had with a parent whose child is interested in signing up for a sport, but said that they would have to get picked up on their own, even though they'd be transported.
We provide transportation to all our student athletes.
From every building.
Right, but then to get home is
No,
what.
although I will say the transportation is a little sketchy these days, as we know, but every student we will have shuttles, we call them shuttles, that will take them from their home school to their practice site and back to their home school. We
Okay.
do not leave them. Now, let's say, for example, we'll use ITC because that's or even Elms, because those kids live all over.
Mm-hmm.
If they leave their home school, let's say practices at Nottingham, and they go to Elms, they don't have to go back to Elms if they live on East Genesee Street.
Right.
There will be some form of transportation, unless of course, they can walk to East Genesee Street.
And we work with Central as well to
Yes.
do activity passes and
Yep.
Central passes as well.
Yeah, because the high school kids don't always get a bus. The middle school kids, we will always get a shuttle there and back, especially if it's requested. And if it's not, absolutely give us a call. But the high school kids, a lot of times they'll tell the coach, I don't need transportation. But what Central does work with us, normally the Central pass is good till 7:30. The athletes get an activity pass attached to the Central pass that will let them get home. I believe it's until 11 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Because we have contests that sometimes they won't get back to the building till 9 to 10 o'clock. Not
Right.
that we want our kids hanging out at the hub at 9 to 10, but at least they have the ability to get home and don't have to pay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
It was a little different last year during COVID, where we did have our kids drive themselves to practice for the varsity. But
Yes.
right now we do provide transportation to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
If there are no other questions, thank you all for coming and speaking with our families. While I have everyone on, before I let you go, just want to remind everyone, if you got an email, there's an upcoming CoVideo chat on Thursday. Please take a look at it and pre-register if it's not for you and you know someone who could possibly use a job. There will be reps to talk to people about employment on Thursday. So check your emails because those went out as well. Thank everyone for participating and have a great night.
That includes school district jobs, guys.
Yes,
New
it
York State
does.
retirement benefits.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you all so much for participating. Someone says, I'll see you Thursday.
Wow,
See
that's
you
great.
Thursday.
Looking forward
Tell
to
your
it, Brenda.
cousins. Tell your cousins.
You want to let this person in and figure out what it is they want,
There's so
or
many.
how we can help them.